Okay, good afternoon everyone. Welcome back from lunch. This morning with Federal Resumes, we focused on the format of the resumes that we write and why they're important. Now, if you remember when we were going through that, one of the things that I said was the most important part of your federal resumes is the quality of the accomplishment statements that you write. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more right now. Okay? So please, if you could, the resume sample I gave you a couple days ago, could you go ahead and pull that out? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Alicia, I'm going to borrow yours here. Looks just like this. I know we used it a little bit this morning. And what I'd like to talk about accomplishment statements is, first of all, that there are three main components that we have to make sure we cover when we write one of these statements. The first of which is, tell the reader, what did you do? Followed by, how did you do it? And lastly, what was your results based on this accomplishment? So we want to make sure all three of these components are covered in this statement to accurately display how we've actually made a difference in our organization, how we've added value. Okay? Now, if you could, on that resume I sent you, page 2 of 4, there is an accomplishment statement written there, and it's titled Contracts, Vendors, and Acquisitions. Could you please pull that out? Now let's look at this statement that we wrote. Now, if you guys wouldn't mind, I'll read it to you. Purchased up to $50,000 in medical supplies, office equipment, and clinical supplies per year using purchase orders, company credit cards, and maintaining 95% work efficiency rate in 8 years. So let's look at this statement, and we'll see if it meets our criteria. First of all, who could tell me, did they clearly state what did they do? Who could tell me in this statement, what did they do?
They purchased up to $50,000 in medical supplies.
That's right, Alicia, thank you. So they purchased up to $50K in medical supplies, office equipment. So let's move on to the next one. How did they do it? Who could tell me how did they do this in the statement? Did they cover that? Karen, go ahead.
They used purchase orders and company credit cards.
So purchase orders and company credit cards. And finally, what was the result? Did this person accurately document their results? Who can tell me what the results are?
Well, 95% work efficiency rate in the last 8 years.
Absolutely. So this person closed showing the reader how they added value to that clinic. So based on everything they did, they were able to maintain 95% work efficiency rate in 8 years. That's a lot of patients that we're seeing. Okay? So this is just an example of one of those accomplishment statements. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to challenge you guys a little bit to write your own. So what I want to do is I want to give you 3 options. Now, as you write this accomplishment statement, and I'll bring up the criteria as kind of a reminder while we do this, you could choose to do one of 3 things. The first of all, if you want to work in pairs, that's great. We're going to give about 7 to 10 minutes for you guys to accomplish this. But if you work in pairs, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do, and I had some paper up here, is to first of all write your accomplishment statement on the poster. Now, because you're working in pairs, that doesn't mean we write one. Each one of you in that pair needs to write an accomplishment statement. But we're working together. Okay? Finally, when we're done as a group, what I will do is I'll go over all the things that you wrote, and we'll do just a quick assessment to make sure that you covered all the components. And if you have any questions, we want to address it at that time. The second option you have is, let's say you want to work by yourself. Right? We have computers here laid out. If you want to work by yourself, all you have to do is pull up your email, send me an email with that accomplishment statement typed up. I'll bring it up before the class. And again, as a class, we're going to give some constructive criticism, some feedback, so that we can help the person writing their accomplishment statement maybe to make it a little bit better. Finally, if you guys haven't noticed, we're recording this course, and I'm going to post it on YouTube tonight. If as we do this, you realize maybe you're not as comfortable with the material, or maybe you have a few more questions, or maybe you want to watch this lesson a few more times over, I'm going to post the video online tonight. You're welcome to watch it, but what I would like you to do individually is email me an accomplishment statement that you wrote by no later than 11:59 tonight. Just send it to me by midnight. What I will do is first thing tomorrow morning is I'm going to read it. And then what I'll do is I will email you some feedback on the things that you did well, or maybe some suggestions I have to you to do a little better. Okay? So before we get started, what are some of the questions that you have about this activity? Okay, it's pretty clear. Okay, so just so I know, we're trying to go around and take care of you guys. Could you tell me what option that you're going to choose? Harry, what option are you going to choose?
I'm gonna work by myself.
Okay, so Harry wants to, work by himself. So Harry, you're gonna have about 7 to 10 minutes. Matter of fact, you can get started whenever you're ready, and just send me an email with your accomplishment statement. Walisha, what do you think you want to do?
I'm thinking maybe Karen and I can work together.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna pair up. All right,
Yeah.
great. So and Karen, what do you? I'm assuming you want to pair up with her too.
Sure.
Okay, so Karen's gonna pair up. So ladies, I've already put some poster paper up. We have some markers over here. Please go ahead and get started. I'll give you a 1-minute warning before we start to review these, but if there's no other questions, please go ahead and get started, guys. I'll put this up as a reminder. So please try to make sure you cover these 3 components of your accomplishment statement. So keep it up there as a reminder.
So what did you do? How did you do it?
And Harry, go ahead and email it to me whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, Harry's zone is in. Harry, I'm going to go ahead and pull yours up. Kind of get it ready in the queue here. There it is. Harry, I'm going to blow yours up a little bit so that we could see it on the screen really well. All right, thank you, Harry. Doing all right, ladies?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Harry, I'm just taking a quick glance at this. Is looking good. We'll wait for everyone to finish up, and then as a class, we'll review it. Looks like we have the overachievers over here. They highlighted their action verb, red, and they're breaking up the components and using different color ink. Great job, ladies. Ladies, whenever you're finished, you can go ahead and have a seat. We'll get started. No rush, but whenever you're ready. All done? Okay. So, ladies, as you're sitting down, I went ahead and pulled up Harry's own. Harry decided to work by himself. And let's look at his accomplishment statement, and we'll see if it met the 3 elements that we're trying to make sure that we capture here. So, manages a $250,000 tuition support program using online acquisition program, and Microsoft Excel spreadsheets, and monthly staff meetings. And he passed by 100% passed 100% of annual audits in 11 years. That's pretty good. So, everyone, what do you think? Did Harry tell us what did he do? Yes or no? Okay, I'll point this one out to get things started off. I think he did a great job of doing it. He talked about he manages a $250,000 tuition support program. Who can point out how did he do it? How did Harry manage this money? Who could share?
By using the online acquisition program, MS Excel spreadsheets, and monthly staff.
Absolutely. I think another example, and Harry did a good job on this. So you use an online acquisition program, some kind of computer software. You use spreadsheets. I'm sure you use it for tracking. I've used those before. As well as I'm assuming with monthly staff meetings, you have to coordinate and get feedback from some of the employees in your service, right? Now the last one is, what was the result? Did Harry clearly document what his results were based on this program? Who can tell us what his results were?
Passing 100% of the annual audits for 11 years.
Yeah. So that's pretty good accomplishment after 11 years of audits, of annual audits. So every year he's got one, he's passed with 100%. So great job, Harry. Now let's move on to our ladies over here. So Karen, I saw you writing up here, trained new supervisors essentials course to 56 people using classroom guest speakers and videos with 95% average national post tests. So let's look at this. Did Karen tell us what did she do?
Yes.
What did Karen do, Alicia?
She trained new supervisors, essentials, to
Yeah.
56 people.
To 56 people. Let me jump here and do the next one. How did she do it? Well, she used classroom instruction. Looks like she had several guest speakers come in, and she also used videos. So she used a few different things to engage her learners. And finally, what was the result of Karen doing all this? How do we know that all her work was made a difference in the organization? Harry, what do you think? What was her results?
Oh, well, evidently 95% passed the post test.
Right, yeah, so she had 95% average score in the national post test. That's pretty good in my book. That's a solid A. So, Alicia, I didn't see your accomplishment statement up there.
Well, I think I'm going to process this.
Okay.
And opt to post mine later. So I will
Great.
email it to you tonight
Absolutely.
by midnight. But yeah, this is great. I want to just use what Karen wrote and create my own.
Yeah, and I appreciate you helping Karen out. I think the examples that Karen and Harry brought up, they did a really good job. So we have a few good examples. Yeah, by all means, Alicia, 11:59 time. I will probably post this video by 5 o'clock, and let me know. And if tomorrow morning I'll read and I'll give you some feedback on things that you did well, maybe some suggestions to make it better. So great job, guys. We did pretty good. One of the things I want to close with is just some other recommendations. This is stuff just to take your accomplishment statements and your resume to the next level. And it's always start with an action verb. I noticed Karen, you used one right here. She has it up here that she trained. She trained a new supervisor, so that's a good action verb to start with. Also, when you type them out, now this is a poster and Harry's own was an email, but when you have your accomplishment statements on your actual resume, I always recommend it be no more than 3 to 4 lines. Okay, 3 to 5. If we start getting to writing an accomplishment statement that's 5 lines long, there might be some things that we can do to be more concise in our writing. So again, which takes me to my third point is always find yourself a proofreader, someone you trust, someone that you work with, or a friend that can help read your resumes and give you feedback, maybe help make some of those accomplishment statements a little more precise. Okay. The last thing, and this is a mistake I see a lot of people make, they overwrite their resumes, is when you're writing your accomplishment statements, only capture the things that you've done in the past based on what is being asked of you in the job announcement. For example, if the job announcement is not asking about your ability to supervise people, you might not want to tell them that you have 15 years of supervision, maybe in the military or in the private sector, because you're not going to be getting credit for it. That space, that space that you're using to write that could be used for something a little bit better. Okay. So guys, that's all I got for content right now. I'm going to stick around a little bit if you have any more questions on maybe some accomplishment statements you were thinking about writing. Alicia, if you have any more questions, I'm happy to stay with you. But what are some of the questions or concerns you have before we dismiss for the day?
I have a question.
Yes, Harry, what do you got?
Now, we should write this as a sentence, or could we shorten the sentence structure and just have more like bullet points?
Well, it's really up to you. You could really do both. I recommend, and I've seen people that I work with have the most success as writing it as a very concise narrative. Now, you see I have some bullets here, and you very well could do that. But what I noticed, especially after 4 or 5 jobs of documenting accomplishment statements, it could just be overload of bullets, and I don't want your work getting lost in the context of other things. I don't want it to be watered down. You know, so I recommend having just a short and very concise narrative to the point, so that it makes a resume interesting to read, but it still captures all the things that you were able to accomplish. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Great. Are there any more questions or concerns? Yes, Alicia.
Is it okay to repeat action words like trained or coordinated or assisted? Is it okay to repeat that?
Okay, it is okay to repeat them, but one of the things I want you to look at, maybe with outside eyes looking in, is that you want to make sure that resume is also interesting reading. So if every accomplishment statement starts with I coordinated this and I coordinated that and I coordinated this and blah blah blah, it starts to get repetitive, and at the same time you're not getting the impact that I think that you could get if you switch it up a little bit. Maybe use a couple synonyms that you haven't used before.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, that concludes our lesson for today. Again, I'm going to stay back and help out anyone who has any questions. But thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.